Yeah, there's no sound yet. I haven't started. I'm just gonna wait 1 or 2 more minutes to officially start because usually people arrive a couple of minutes late. Right. Good crew so far. Not a lot of AI bots. That is always really nice to see. Actually having some people in here. Yeah, no audio issue with your computer. That was on me. I just wasn't talking. All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, depending on where you are in the world right now. My name is Pascal. I'm Hacker Success with ETHGlobal, and I would like to welcome you all to the beginner workshop, What to Expect at ETHGlobal Bangkok. If you have hacked with us before online, it's still worth taking the time to maybe look at the recording of this one or joining in live, because we're going to go over a bunch of information that's going to be new to you. If this is the first time hacking with us in general, welcome. Super, super to have everybody here. For your information, this is a roughly 60-minute workshop, and we will go over everything that you need to know to make your hackathon experience as smooth as possible. If you have any questions throughout the workshop, feel free to post them in the chat. I will answer them during the workshop as well as afterwards, meaning we're going to have a small Q&A session around like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how much time we actually have for this one. So yeah, please stay muted for the entirety of the workshop and keep your camera off. We can change that one later afterwards. Just going to admit a few more people and then we'll be good to go. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to just post them in the chat and I will go over them one by one. Sweet. So I would like to start off with our Pragma event, which is going to be the first event that we're going to be running. So our hackathons are not conferences. Pragmas are conferences. So pretty much what they are, it's this time is a one-day event with speakers from the industry. They are usually founder or at least C-level for a bunch of protocols that you know and love. So we have a lot of like really, really cool talks, and that's the way to like kick off the weekend or the hackathon weekend for us. If you are a hacker that is fully confirmed for the hackathon, you get the tickets at a discount for $69. You're gonna get some swag. There's foods and drinks, and I would say the most important part, except for all the talks that are gonna be happening throughout the day, is the networking event. So you're gonna be able to talk to a lot of the industry leaders and meet a lot of hackers actually before the hackathon. This is the list of the speakers that we have already confirmed. There's going to be a bunch more going to be updated throughout the week and before the event happening on Thursday. So might be worth checking this one out. The schedule, we're going to start at 1:30 p.m. Like all these times are Bangkok times. There's going to be an introduction. There's going to be a bunch of talks. There's breaks in between to get like really, really good food, to have some drinks, and afterwards we have a wrap-up networking like event where it's just a bunch of drinks being handed out, and you can just spend the time and talk to people, connect, maybe find some buddies that you're going to be hacking with actually at the hackathon. I'm not sure if Vitalik is going to be there at Pragma. He will be there at the hackathon though. So cannot say anything if he'll be attending Pragma, but he will 100% be at the hackathon, which is on the schedule already. So yeah, but there's going to be like a bunch of like really, really cool people. So Pragma events are always really, really nice to make some really, really cool connections for sure. And it's going to happen at the Hyatt. We have all the directions directly on our website. So if you go to ethglobal.com/event/Pragma Bangkok, you can get all the information from there. Amazing. Okay, cool. Pragma Eve Denver, nice. I haven't attended this one, but it would be cool if we keep on doing this one to attend this one. I heard Denver is really, really nice. Cool. So if you are already in the city or want to go to the city, we also have a thing called city packs. City packs are on-chain NFTs that you can mint. In this case, they're $149. The cool thing about this, it includes the Pragma ticket with guaranteed access. You get guaranteed access to the happy hour. You get a 10 gig eSIM. We have a bunch of like discounts for hotels. You get tickets to side events, a lot of stuff. So it's definitely worth checking out at ethglobal.com/packs, and you can check out the city packs on this one. I'm just going to answer this one question, then I'm going to keep on going. So what is the benefit of attending Pragma? If you like to attend like summits, if you like to attend talks, if you want to hear what people in the industry, leaders in the industry are saying, and if you want to make connections with those people, then I can recommend going to Pragma. Cool. So let's get over to the fun stuff more related to the actual hackathon. So this page should be familiar to everybody who is attending right now because you all used it in the past. This is the hacker dashboard. This has all the information that you're going to be needing over the next couple of days. And especially there's one section I'm going to highlight before the hackathon and a bunch of stuff that's going to be super, super relevant during the hackathon. So what we do have, in case you do not have a team yet, or if you want to hack solo or just interact with other people, we do have a page that is called Find Team Members. On this one, this page is opt-in. You click a little, check a little checkbox, and you can put all your information in there. So, for example, what you are super proficient in. Sorry about that. What your interests are, what your skills are. You can save those and that will be associated with your profile. The cool thing is you can search for other people that also did the exact same thing. Meaning you have everybody that's going to be attending the event, including their years of experience, what they're proficient at, and their Discord handle with like all of their skills and the tools that they're familiar with. And you can connect with them directly. So all of the people that are attending the hackathon can directly connect their Discord, get the roles assigned, see a bunch of cool stuff. Going to go over this one in a second. And you can look for people. So we have two options. One is you can see like hackers that are actually looking to join a team. So if you have a team of 4 people already, for example, and you're desperate in need for let's see, what do we have? Like a backend engineer. Then you might want to head over to Paul and ping him, say like he's looking for a team, he's a backend engineer, and just send him a message. And the other thing, there's also a bunch of teams that are looking for team members. So it's a great way to connect with people before the actual event starts. So how do you do that? In your hacker dashboard, you have a button on the left side that says connect with Discord. I'm already connected with a test account. This one links your Discord account with your ETHGlobal account, puts all the information in there. You're going to get a bunch of roles assigned. And if you get those roles assigned, you're going to see a bunch of channels. In this case, the ETHGlobal Bangkok channel. And there's a really, really cool sub-channel that's called Find a Team. I can highly recommend, especially for newcomers. So if you're not sure on what you want to build, or if you already know what you want to build and looking for team members, feel free to post a message in there. A lot of people already been doing this. Do a bunch of stuff like, hey, looking to join a team. This is what they're proficient in. This is what they've done in the past. So write like a little bit of an introduction on what you're planning on doing, maybe what your experience is. If you've already built some projects, then feel free to link them there too. And this is a great way to connect to people before the actual hackathon starts. So highly recommend just drop a message in there and generally keep an eye on Discord for all the information. You've already seen this before, because for this one right now, we also ping all of the workshops and events that are going to be happening on the hackathon weekend. So in this case, since I'm hosting this workshop right now, you got informed 15 minutes earlier, and this is going to happen with all of the workshops that we're running. And a really, really important thing too, this will also remind you if there's food at the venue, which is one of the most important things for any hackathon. There's a bunch of like general channels, and what we're going to be opening up later today is going to be all of the partner channels. So for each and every single partner or sponsor, if you will, there's a dedicated channel where you can ask questions about their technology if you're looking for help. So this is a great way to already ask some questions before the hackathon actually starts. Again, they're going to be opened up later later today. So yeah, if you have not already done so, connect to Discord, talk to the people, be part of the community, be civil, be nice, adhere to the code of conduct. That would be awesome because I do not want to kick anybody out, especially not before the hackathon. That would be super unfortunate. But yes, cool. So the next thing that is, I would say, one of the most important things is going to be the project submission and how this is going to look like. So I'm going to briefly go over a like a demo submission on what you would be doing over the weekend. A lot of the stuff you can already fill out as of now, you just cannot submit it. So one thing worth noting, you can only build one project for the hackathon and you can only be part of one team. That means you can be part of a team up to 5 people, or you can hack solo. So pretty much anything between 1 and 5 people is completely fine, but you can only be part of one team and you can only submit one project. So do not work on multiple projects you want to submit. If you want to include multiple technologies, they all have to be in one single project. So this page gives you all of the information. It will also show once the submission is live and once you can actually submit something. So I'm going to start out with this project. Already have this one pre-filled out, but I could select multiple things. For example, for the category that I believe this is the most fitting in, I would say mine is definitely DAO tooling. The emoji that suits this one best, I would say, is probably this one. I have a demonstration link for this one. Sure, why not? Just going to use the just going to use this. A short description. This is mandatory. I'm just going to spam this for now because I'm not going to waste too much time going over a bunch of that stuff. We have a long description for the project. It's important to note that all this information will be visible on your showcase profile, and this is the information that the judges will be seeing if they are evaluating your projects. So try to be as descriptive as possible with description, tell them how it's made. The better you describe it, the higher your chances are of actually succeeding or winning, because this is the information that all the judges and all the partners will go by. I'm gonna add a GitHub repository, of course. It's worth noting that if you are working on a project, the GitHub repository you're working on has to be public, so it can be reviewed. It's technically fine to keep it private and move it public at the end, but we had instances of people forgetting to switch it public, and that caused issues. So just create a new GitHub repository, just link it there, make it public, and commit all your changes there. Really, really, shoot. Really, really important there is it has to be a valid one. That's something we just updated. I was not aware of this one. Cool. Let's just switch to the next section then because I don't have one by heart right now. Yeah, again, really, really important is do not start coding or pushing or doing anything before the actual hackathon starts. So the official hackathon, I'm going to go over all the starting dates and all the times later, but do not work on the project submissions before. So if you're already working on your project, I would highly, highly recommend to stop right now and start completely from scratch, because this will get you disqualified. Because the hackathon, like the sole purpose of a hackathon is to actually be able to build something in a short amount of time and not get like a crazy head start. Okay. So at this point, you would then upload anything related to your project. So we require a logo and a cover image. The cover image will later be shown at the showcase page. And you're going to have to upload some screenshots. It's going to have to be at least 3 screenshots of your project. Could be of the code base, could be of like anything from the UI. It's completely fine and can always save in between. Video upload, this is something we highly, highly recommend, but important to know for an in-person event, videos are optional. So it's a nice thing to have for others to review your submission, but it's not mandatory. So do not waste time on a video if you are close to the deadline. Rather have a working project than a super, super nice and polished video. That's all I'm going to say at this end. So again, video is optional for in-person hackathons. So for the tech stack, this is also really, really important. So this is gonna, since this is not open yet, unfortunately cannot fill it out. But you're gonna go over which tools you used, which like chains you've been using, which programming languages you're using, and this information is mainly for the judges side and gonna be listed all there. The really, 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 really important thing for a lot of people, this is where I would recommend to like take a lot of time and listen to this one. This is where you would select which prizes you're going after. And this is one thing I explain a lot of times. We have two tracks to go to. One is if you only want to apply for partner pricing, then you can select this checkbox. You do not have to demo your project at all to anybody if you select this one. You can still demo your project to all of our partners that have the relevant technology included in your project, but it is 100% optional. If you, however, want to demo in front of judges that are not part of ETHGlobal, but are highly skilled members within the Ethereum ecosystem, you can opt in for this track. If you opt in for this track, you have the chance to actually present your project live in front of over 2,000 people at the closing ceremony of the hackathon. You will get additional perks like being called an ETHGlobal finalist, get some extra swag, get some extra cash rolled in by us. This is what the closing ceremony for San Francisco looked like. So at the end of the hackathon, the winning teams get called up on stage one by one and present their or demo their project live. So if you're comfortable saying like, hey, I'm definitely going to be able to do this, I'm comfortable presenting live in front of people, I'm proud of the stuff that I built, then you can opt in for this one. Cool. Not the correct one. Yeah. So once this is enabled, you can select all of the projects, all of the partners, sorry, which technology you included. So for example, let's say you built something using dynamic, push protocol, neon EVM, circuit, and base. You would select all of them. That will pop up a window that's going to ask you what you did with that technology in particular. It will ask you where you put it in your code base, so you can link the specific file, for example, for your GitHub profile directly in there, and it's going to ask you for some developer feedback. So how easy was it to integrate the technology? Would you recommend using it? You can rate it by a star system and just write some comments on there. This is really, really important for the partners as well, because then they know how to actually improve their projects going forward. So as you can see, we have a lot of partners, so a lot of technology you can use and build your project with. I would generally, that's just my personal opinion, recommend not to go for too many because the submissions should still make sense. So it sometimes makes sense to include 5 or 6 different partners or even 10 different partners. But a lot of the times, maybe going for up to 4 should be more than enough because the technology included, it should make sense. So there should be a reason like why you put in Hyperlane, for example, or why you put it or why you build it on Neon EVM versus, oh, I just wanted to include as many prizes as possible. And just randomly selecting any won't do you any good either because the partners are solely going to be judging you based on the things that you submitted. So if you submit something for Circuit, for example, and you didn't include Circuit whatsoever, you're not going to win any prizes. And that's usually not looking good with the partners either. So would highly recommend not doing that. Actually, during when the submission closes and the judging begins, again, the finalist judging, this one you have to present in front of judges at a dedicated area. For the partner prizes, you do not have to do this. You can pitch in front of all of the partners going to be available at their booths in the venue. And also worth noting, if you select the top 10 finalists and partner prize slot, it automatically includes you into the partner prizes as well. You still have to fill everything out, but same thing applies. You do not have to pitch to them. You can pitch to them to get feedback on your project. Last two steps are pretty much saying like, what do you want to do after this one? Do you want to get some apply for grants? Do you want to support? Do you actually plan on continuing with the project? And at the end, there's a submission button. The cool thing about, at least in my opinion, about our submissions is you can submit countless amounts of times. So I highly recommend you submitting your project early because you can always resubmit it. So once you have something there, just make sure you submit and then keep on working and submitting once you're done again. You can do this up until 9 a.m. on Sunday when the deadline is for the actual hackathon project submissions. So again, you can submit as many times as you need. Try to submit at least once early because you all staked 0.02 ETH to reserve your spot. If you do not submit a project, we will slash your stake. So the stake is kind of like a deposit you put in for you to put the time in and actually submit a project. So even if it's just like something that's not working, if it's just like a demo that's like kind of there, this is fine as long as you submit something, you're gonna get your state back afterwards. Cool. And yeah, we pointed out at a bunch of places you can edit this up until the submission deadline. And if you have any issues during submission, you can just reach out to anybody on the team. We're going to be at the venue pretty much most of the time. And there's also going to be a dedicated help desk, and you can always send messages in Discord to get information there. Just going to answer a question real quick. I couldn't secure my visa to come to Bangkok because I've traveled to another country to get it. Does it mean I can't participate online? Yes, unfortunately, that means you cannot participate for this event because it's strictly in person and only people that attend on site can actually submit. You can send me an email with this information to hello@ethglobal.com and I can withdraw your application. You're going to get your stake returned. Sorry, you cannot attend, but unfortunately, we cannot do online submissions at this time. Okay, let's see. Next thing I want to show. So if you build your project, if it's successfully submitted, and after we announce all of the finalists and all the partner prizes, your project will end up on our showcase. The cool thing about a showcase, it dates back to 2017 with ETH Waterloo, meaning that all of the projects that have ever been submitted at an ETHGlobal event are going to be visible here, which is, I'd say, pretty cool. You can search for those projects as well. You can, as of now, we cannot search for specific price tracks or finalists, so you kind of have to know the project or just go through a lot of them, but we're working on this one. But for example, we have a finalist of Brussels, also finalist for honorable mention for ApeChain. You can head over to the source code. You can check out a live demo. There's a bunch of screenshots and there's a video on how it's made, description on how it's built. And all this information is the stuff that you filled out that I showed you previously that's going to be shown on your workspace all the time. So again, this is linked to the GitHub, has the information as well. So I would also recommend have like a nice and clean GitHub. This also helps if you have a proper README, everything is well documented. Can highly recommend it. Okay, cool. And again, the thing with the showcase is it shows all of the projects that have ever been submitted. Let me see if I can find another one from Brussels, for example, that collected a bunch more bounties. So here you can also see that the same thing. And you can see all the prizes that they won. So they made ETHGlobal finalist. That means they went through the whole process and actually got selected. And these are the prizes that they got from other partners directly. So if you want to get some inspiration, I can highly recommend to just browse through the showcase. And another thing, we also highlight all of our finalists on our Twitter/X account. If you go to x.com/ethglobal/highlights, you can see all the finalists being listed. We have a thread with all the information. This is also where we take the emoji that you put in before and the short description. And we do this pretty much for every single hackathon. So here you can see the thread that we did for Singapore has all 10 finalists and a description of all the projects on like what they do. And also if you have your Twitter or X handle associated with your profile, you automatically get mentioned in the post directly. Okay, nice. Can do another quick stop for a question because this is super relevant. Let's say you win a prize, it's evenly distributed amongst the team members, or do team members have to figure it out themselves? All the prizes are distributed equally between the team members. So if you are a team of 5, then the prize money gets split. Doesn't matter if somebody did all the work and the other ones would just chill in. This is something you have to figure out amongst yourselves, to be honest. But the thing is, we automatically distribute the prize money split equally between all participants or between all team members, and it automatically gets sent to their wallets. So it doesn't matter how much work you put in, the money is shared equally automatically. Nice. So talking about the submission and submission times, I would now head over, close all this up, and I would now go back to the overview and head to the schedule. So the schedule has all of the information for all of our workshops, all of our deadlines, all of the events in there. So as you can see, this one is happening right now. This is also streamed right now on our YouTube. This is the beginner workshop, but I also have one coming up next Monday, which is going to be a virtual team formation and idea brainstorming session. So if you do not have a team as of now and are still looking for somebody before Bangkok, feel free to join the session. It's going to be an hour and a half long. Well, we're going to be introducing everybody, having like a bit of chit chat, trying to find groups, having ideas just thrown around, pitch ideas, and find group pairings. I can highly recommend them. They're really nice to get it started. We're going to do the same thing in person as well on Friday after the opening ceremony. It also has a schedule for Pragma, but a bit more interesting would be the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So on Friday, take notes now. The event registration opens at 1 p.m. So at 1 p.m. you can head to the venue and sign up to get your wristband and your badge and your swag. And as soon as you get this, you have access to the building and to the venue 24/7. So you can leave as many times as you want. You can stay throughout the entirety of the thing, but you have to sign up. And we open the sign up at 1 p.m. So if you show up before, you're gonna have to wait because we open up registration at 1 p.m. Partner workshops are going to be starting at 2 p.m. So we have a lot of partners, meaning we have a lot of workshops. We have 4 different workshop rooms. So a lot of the sessions will be running in parallel, unfortunately. But you can check out the ones that you are interested in. They're usually 20 minutes long, and it always shows where they are. I'm going to show you the map in a few minutes. Excuse me. Where you can see where you have to go to attend those workshops. It always shows the speaker as well, which is really nice. So workshops are going on up until, this is a really long one this time, up until 7. So starting 7, there's going to be dinner served, which I'm always super excited about because dinner at ETHGlobal events or food at ETHGlobal events is always really nice. So we have about an hour and a half for dinner, and at 8 p.m. we're going to have the opening ceremony. Glad to announce that we're going to have Vitalik opening up with Kartik, which is really cool. So during the opening ceremony, we're going to go over a bunch of information on how the weekend is going to look like, on the do's and don'ts of the hackathon. Pretty much a lot of the stuff that I've been telling you now, just a bit like more condensed. And starting 9 p.m., you can start with the hacking. And that goes on until 9 a.m. on Sunday, meaning you have 36 hours of total hacking time where you can start building on your project and start committing. We then have another workshop later, which I can highly recommend. It's a longer one. If you are completely new to Web3, I highly recommend the Scaffold ETH workshop with Kevin and Austin. two amazing guys, just like really, really cool people from the ecosystem. And they're gonna show you how you can just scaffold and speed run building applications. So if you have no idea how to build a Web3 application, this is the place to go for sure. We close the event registration at 10 p.m. for the Friday. We're gonna open it up on Saturday. So if you're only coming in on Saturday, this is still fine. And at 10:30, because we had to push it back, unfortunately. So if you're still awake there and haven't found somebody, we're gonna run the team formation and idea brainstorming session again, this time in person. And since everybody who's joining there will still be at the event anyways, we're gonna have a late night snack, which is not something big, but I think in Brussels we had like fries and Belgian waffles, for example. We're gonna announce what it is there, but gonna have like a midnight snack. For the Saturday, we're gonna open up the registration at 1 a.m. again, and we're gonna close it at 12. So make sure to be there between 8 a.m. and 12 because otherwise we might not let you hack. So try to be there in person. There's always exceptions if like, oh, my flight has been delayed, something happened, but try to be there as soon as possible because in general, the more time you have, the easier it is actually to hand in a project. A very cool thing that we have for Bangkok is we do have Thai massages. So from 10 a.m., pretty much 8 hours long, I think it's 10-minute sessions that you can book. We have shoulder massages. So if you're already super, super tense and stressed from a long night of hacking, this is the spot to be for sure. We're gonna have a movie screening, which is cool. We did this for Singapore. We're gonna do this one again for Bangkok. So at 2 p.m. on the Saturday, we're gonna be streaming the Vitalik movie. At 6 p.m., there is going to be dinner and a late night snack that's provided by our partner Kinto is gonna be provided at midnight. And on Sunday, when everybody is already super, super tired and been hacking for over 24 hours, we're going to have breakfast at 8 a.m. and the project submission closes at 9 a.m. So at 9 a.m. is the cap. This is where you're no longer allowed to make commits, to make changes. This is where we close the submission. So I mentioned before, you can submit infinite amount of times your project. This ends at 9 a.m. So at 9 a.m., this is done and the coding and hacking part of the hackathon officially ends. Then you have about 30 minutes to take a breath and take a quick nap, and this is when the project judging starts. So at 9:30, you can head, if you selected the finalist judging, you can head to the finalist judging area. I'm going to show that in a bit. And line up, demo your project there. And then you can head to the partners, to all the ones you want to talk to, you want to pitch your project to. Again, this is optional, the pitching to the partners part, but it's a great way to actually get feedback on your project and maybe get like your name a bit more up. But they should be judging you solely on your submission. Then at 1 p.m., we're going to have a big lunch, which is going to be the last like big meal we're going to have for the hackathon. And pretty much between 2 and 3:30 p.m. is when we notify the finalists. Notification is going to be sent out via email, Discord, and Telegram. So if you opt in for the finalist judging, make sure to stick around at the venue between lunch and the finalist notification, because if you do not show up, we're going to vacate your spot. You're still eligible for all the partner prizes, but you will lose your privilege of being an ETHGlobal finalist. So as I mentioned before, all finalists will get put up on stage. They're going to demo their project during the closing ceremony. We're going to announce all of the partner prizes during the closing ceremony as well. So all of the prize pool that it'll also go into in a second will be announced there. And at 6 p.m., we're going to have an after party. There's going to be drinks, and I think we're going to have some snacks as well. So it's another great way to network and just completely wind down at the end of the event. So yeah, pretty much from 1 p.m. on Friday till after the after party ends on Sunday is where you can be at the location. So you can exit as many times as you want. You can stay the entirety of the time. This is completely fine. You have full access as long as you keep your wristband. Do not cut the wristband off. We will not replace it. If you lose your wristband, if you give it to somebody else, we are free to deny you entry. Cool. So I talked a lot about the judging and the spots. So I'm gonna quickly go over two things. That would be the venue. So we're going to be in the National Convention Center. There's the address. We also have a link directly to Google Maps, so you can see where to go from your hostel or from the airport if you're attending directly. And we also have this nice venue map. There's a legend on the side which shows you where the restrooms are, where the registration is, where it's going to be food, where the workshops are, couches, and the judging space. Gonna quickly open up a bigger picture so you can see. So the entrance is going to be in Hall 3. You're going to enter there. You're going to go through registration. And once you went through registration, you're free to go back and forth as many times as you want. We have 3 major hacking areas where there's going to be a lot of tables and chairs and a lot of people. We got power plugs at every single table, so you're all set to go. Then the green boxes are where all of our partners are going to be, all 69 of them. And they're there to answer your questions. They're there to hand you out some really cool swag. So if you come to Bangkok with only 1 t-shirt, you can leave with like 50 t-shirts and socks and a bunch of really cool stuff. So all the partners are going to be there. They are usually not there 24/7. So I would say they're during the day and early night, a lot of the partners are available. Some actually do have shifts during the night, but not all partners are going to be available all the time. So just that you're aware of this one. There are snacks and beverage stations that are going to be equipped 24/7. So there's always going to be something to drink and always going to be some snacks like granola bars or chips and some light stuff. And in the catering hall is where all of the main food is going to be served. But you can also take, like, you don't have to stay at the catering hall. You can also move this to your like hackerspace and that stuff. So the big red box is where the finalist judging will happen. So if you opted in for that track, we will have a lot of signage on where you have to go. So just head over there. You're gonna line up. You're gonna get a judging room assigned, and then you're gonna pitch and demo to the partners. This is where all of the workshop rooms are gonna be. We also do have chill spaces, meaning these are places where you can actually like nap during the night or during the day. We have a bunch of like air mattresses, so there's no beds and we cannot guarantee a spot. But if you're just like completely exhausted, you can head over there and just take some rest. Yes, cool. And also one thing worth noting, because I'm also responsible for that, we, in addition to all of the partner representatives, we have a great team of mentors that are a lot of things from founders in the industry. They are experienced hackers, experienced programmers. They've been with us for quite a while. We do have a bunch of mentors that are going to be there 24/7. So there's always going to be somebody there that's going to be wearing a bright vest that says in big letters mentor, and you can talk to them if you have any questions, if you want to pitch your idea, if you need something to troubleshoot, and they're there to help you. So just look out for those people in the Bright West. Super nice people, super skilled, and they're more than happy to help you out. They're gonna be at the mentor station, like right here on the right side, between the partner booths and the main stage area. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna take all the questions till the end, so I don't go over time. I still have a bunch of stuff to show you, and I don't want to bore too many people at this point. Cool thing is we've been running so many hackathons. We get a lot of questions asked multiple times. So we have 2 sections I can highly recommend. One would be the info section and one the FAQ section. The FAQ section is pretty self-explanatory. It's all of the frequently asked questions. So head over to them and just go briefly over them. It's not a lot. Because most of the questions that are going to be asked throughout the weekend are answered there. A lot of the stuff is happening before the hackathon, or it's interesting before the hackathon, but it also goes into some things about like, why do I need to stake? What happens if I don't submit? That kind of stuff, so can highly recommend it. And the other thing is our info section that has everything, and especially gonna highlight the rules and project submission and judging section, because this one shows you the submission deadline, how you're submitting, what the demo video is, the partner prizes, and the rules. So this goes over all the rules. So if somebody submits something that they shouldn't be submitting, we can always refer to the rules and say like, hey, this is something you should or should have not done. Let's see, cool. This also goes over the project submission, which I mentioned, the judging session, and also kind of interesting for a lot of people is on how you're actually going to be judged by the finalists and the partner judging on what this is looking like. Okay, cool. Like we're almost there. Promise. Just gonna have a few more things that are kind of related to the hackathon, and then we're gonna go to the Q&A session. So a thing that we have that is really cool because I use this quite a lot when I was hacking myself is we do have a faucet. So we do have testnet tokens for, I believe, 18 different chains that you can claim. If you are just a registered hacker and you need to, unfortunately, that's still requirement we have. You have to have an active X account. We use this to prevent botting. So you have to connect your Twitter. You have to be a hacker for an event and have a verified wallet with your account, which all of you should have if you staked. And then you can claim a 0.05 ETH a day on all of these chains. If you have minted our hacker pack, which all of you can do now, since you will be hackers for the event, you're gonna get an additional bump, meaning you're gonna get 0.1 ETH that you can get on the faucet each and every single day for all of eternity. So you can use this beyond the hackathon as well. So yeah, the regular stuff, we got Optimus and Sepolia, we got Base Sepolia, Scroll, Filecoin, Zora, so a bunch of stuff. A few are discontinued, we do not have anymore, but a lot of the partners that we're having are offering testnet tokens there directly. And for a lot of the chains that are going to be on site, you can ask them as well for some testnet tokens to test their technology. So I can always recommend just to talk to them directly and head over to the packs and mint your hacker pack. If you have attended multiple hackathons or have built something more in the past, we have add-ons to this one. For example, like the builder pack, which gives you a bunch more perks. For example, you get the bump up to 0.5 ETH on testnet a day. You're going to get auto accepted to all of our hackathons. You get a bunch of discount. You're going to get Notion Pro for 6 months. You're going to get Pinata account. And the highest pack that we have for regular hackers, you're gonna have to win at least 1,000 USD in prizes, submitted 2 projects, or be a finalist and attended 2 hackathons. Then you actually get another bump. You get 1 ETH a day, get $5,000 on AWS credit, access to Zoo Thailand, Quick Notes Business Pro, and 1 month free of gelato. The cool thing about those packs is that they're expendable by the community, and we also keep on adding more perks throughout the next year. So this is something we just started this year. We're going to be expanding on. And the biggest pack that we have, just going to show this one here as well, is ETHGlobal Plus, which is going to be our all-in-one ETHGlobal membership. So with ETHGlobal Plus, you're going to get access to every single Pragma event. You can pretty much just walk in there, so you don't have to pay for Pragma anymore. This is going to be applying for all of 2025. You can bring 1 guest to an event. You get fast-tracked, so no waiting times at the check-in, and all of the events are covered as well. So all the happy hours that we're having, you get guaranteed free access, all the co-working spaces, all the community meetups, all that stuff's going to be there. You're going to get access to every single hackathon. So a lot of people didn't get into Bangkok because we just got crushed by the amount of people that wanted to hack with us. So this would not be a problem. No matter when you're applying, you can just get fast-tracked into ETHGlobal Plus. There's no deadlines. You get prizes distributed faster. There's staking discounts and the 10x on testnet tokens. Also get all the city packs included that I mentioned before, get a bunch of deals added on top of it. So it's a lot of value added for sure. We reimburse gas for up to $100 on a bunch of chains. You get free ENS domain, free Zora mint once per week, Farcaster account. We're going to get some additional vouchers, free eSIMs, access to all the side events that we're running. And it's going to be $69 a month. It's not live yet, but we're going to be launching it very, very soon. Right now, you can request an invite, which is, if I'm not mistaken, $29 to reserve your spot on the wait list. So if you're planning on attending a lot of events in 2025, this is something we can highly recommend for sure. Nice. this, I believe, should cover about everything that we have that is worth noting for the event. Just going to briefly summarize it again. Hacker Dashboard is where all of the information is going to be throughout the weekend. This is also going to highlight your project. It's also going to show when the project submission is open. We're going to send all the reminders via email and via Discord, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. We have a bunch of guides from a bunch of our partners on how to get started with their technology. The project that you're building is going to be managed in the project page. If you are joining a team, which I showed you before, you can enter and invite emails directly or people directly into your team. A lot of people already done this. You can leave a team and rejoin them up until the project submission is done. So one thing worth noting, you can even technically switch teams, which I wouldn't recommend, but you can, but up until the submission deadline. So once the project is submitted, the team is fixed. So make sure that everybody is in the team that should be in the team, and everybody that should not be in the team is not in the team, because if the project is submitted and there's somebody in there that hasn't done anything, they would still be technically eligible for any of the prizes. You can find a list of all of our mentors at the /mentors page. Cool thing about this is you're going to see a picture of them and all the skills that they have the Discord and their Twitter. So not only they're going to be super, super visible because they're going to be wearing those vests that I mentioned. You can also just message them directly or ping them in the Discord channel that we have. Should have mentioned that one before. We do have a mentorship help channel. So if you do have any issues throughout the event, you're free to send a message in there as well. They will be more than happy to help, assist, and answer. This might be especially useful during the night when there's not a lot of the partners on site. Like at 3 a.m., we're still going to have some mentors, but a lot of the partners probably not going to be there. So if you have a question, just like drop it in there for the Discord. Same if you have any issues with the internet, because let's face it, it's going to be a lot of people in a relatively small space. So there's going to be Wi-Fi issues. We try to mitigate all of that, and we try to get find solutions for this one too, each and every single hackathon. But there's going to be issues from time to time if we're realistic. So if there's any issue with a certain spot, you can always ping us, say like, hey, I'm in this particular area, like next to Nounsdao, like the Wi-Fi is terrible. Can you come take a look at it? And then we are gonna go over there and check it out and make it better for you. Okay, cool. With that being said, we have about like 12 to 15 minutes. I would move over to a Q&A session. So if you have any questions now, just post them in the chat. I'm gonna go over the queue that we had so far, and then I'm gonna read them out loud, answer them, and afterwards we can see how we go. So let's see. Let's say our team want to develop it further. After we submitted a project, who will own the project? Oh, cool. That's a great question. So everything is owned by you. Like the entire IP is with you. ETHGlobal does not own any of your project. So doesn't matter if you win $10,000, doesn't matter if you win $20,000 or nothing, you own the project. Now, if the partners own the project, ETHGlobal doesn't own the project, it's just us. And now I remember something, because I did not mention that before. Because this is something that pretty much everybody like wants to know and wants to see anyways. We have about 775,000 US dollars in prizes to be distributed. And those prizes will be announced during the closing ceremony, as I mentioned before. Just give me a sec because the prize page takes a bit to load. So if you go to the event/prizes, you can see all of our partners, the amount of bounties that they're handing out, and what they are requesting you to do to get that bounty, or what kind of tracks that they're going for. So for example, Kinto is offering $7,500 for the best app built on Kinto, and they also list the qualification requirements. So this should be in there for almost all of the partners, so you can see what they want you to do, what they would like to see, and which track that you'll be applying for, and the amount of prizes that they're putting out. So 1inch, for example, for the best integrate Fusion Plus into your project, total of $8,000, 4,000 for the first, 2,500 for the second place, and the third one is at 1,500. And that goes to all of our 69 partners. So you can see the amount they're handing out and what they want you to do for that amount. So make sure to read through that one before, so you don't struggle like at the actual hackathon. Cool thing is though, all of those partners are going to be present, so you can talk to them, you can directly ask questions, you can troubleshoot issues, you can help them troubleshoot their tech, and also can get feedback directly from them. Okay, let's see. So you can only start coding at 9 p.m. on the 15th and not at 1 p.m. on the 15th. Am I understanding this correctly? Yes, this is correct. So the registration opens at 1 p.m., but the official hackathon, like just the coding, the hacking part, starts at 9 p.m. or at the time that Kartik will be announcing it on stage. So I would highly, highly recommend not starting to work on it previously. If you do like sketch some ideas out, like write something down, that's completely fine. A lot of people are doing this anyways. It's hard to control that, but I would highly recommend not pushing any data to any GitHub repository or pushing that in large chunks before the event, because that will get you disqualified. Hope that answers the question. How many people are attending the event? I cannot give the official number because we're going to be announcing this one with the hackers and all the attendees, but it's definitely going to be our biggest event we've ever run, and we're going to be way over 2,000 attendees. This is what I can say so far. So it's going to be massive for sure. So there will be a lot of free swag. Yes, there will be a lot of free swag. So ETHGlobal will be handing out swag. We always do. You're gonna get a little swag bag. The content is a surprise. You're gonna see that on Friday. But almost all partners have swag, from stickers to socks to t-shirts to some have hoodies, like backpacks. There's a bunch of stuff there. So especially t-shirt wise, you should be pretty much good to go after that event for sure. When the prizes are distributed to the winners. So prize distribution usually happens within 3 weeks after the event concludes. So for San Francisco, we're just distributing the prizes today, which is 3 weeks after the event, but we will always announce it at the closing ceremony. So at the closing ceremony, there's going to be a slide that says prize distribution will be until that specific day. We'll be distributing all prizes in USDC on Ethereum layer 1. This is how all the prizes are going to be distributed. You're going to get information about this one before, and this is also the time when we're going to be, reimbursing all your stakes. So the reason we take this long for the prize to be distributed is because we're going to go over the entirety of the code base, especially for the finalists, to make sure that there was no cheating. So for example, what we've seen in the past is people already worked on the projects before the event. So that would get you disqualified. Or people putting, for example, everything into one giant commit like 5 minutes before the event. That's not really ideal either. So make sure you use proper version control. So we're going to go over everybody that won some prizes. The repositories are going to get checked. So that's why we take a bunch of time to actually get in there. How many total hackers? I cannot say that right now. We're going to announce that at the beginning of the hackathon. I accidentally redeemed. Oh, okay, that's a private message. I'm going to ask you later. Okay. Any other questions at this time? Feel free to unmute yourself too and ask that question directly, or if you do not want to, then feel free to just post it in the chat. Still have about 5 minutes, and I'm more than happy to go over all the open questions that you potentially have. And we can stay overnight at location and code. Yes, the location is open from 1 p.m. on the Friday till 9 a.m. on the Saturday and the Sunday, sorry. So pretty much throughout the entirety of the hackathon, you can stay at the venue. It's completely fine, and hack and code and whatever. We have a bunch of people that don't get any sleep. You're free to sleep at the venue too. I'd say nap at the venue. Again, it's not going to be the most comfortable, but it will be possible. But yes. Let's see, how much price is the food on site? It's free. Like, you do not have to pay anything for the ETHGlobal events at all. So all drinks and all the food are included in your steak and you're going to get that steak back. So all the food, and it's going to be like, again, I cannot stress this enough. The food is always really, really great. It's all going to be free. So for the hackathon itself, you don't have to bring any cash. Anything outside of it, anything for DEF CON, that's a different story. But the hackathon itself, for all the meals that I mentioned before, all the snacks, all the drinks, all of that is included. All of that is free. AI use is permitted, I hope, because my coding speed has 100x and this could appear as cheating. Nah, this is fine. Like, to be honest, like almost everybody uses AI. Like some people build their entire project using AI. Some use it just like you just speed it up. That's okay. Like there's no rules against using AI. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because everybody's using it anyways. And you can see there's a lot of like more complex stuff being built during like the 3 day or like 2.5 day hackathons because of the usage of AI. So this is completely fine. Will there be a shower at the event? So we will not have showers directly on site that we are offering, unfortunately, since it's just like like a spot at a convention center. But I believe that there's showers in the overall venue, but they are not free. I can ask that question again later, maybe in Discord, and we can look it up. If I recall correctly, there are showers not directly with the ETHGlobal event, but somewhere in the venue, and they're paid showers. But we do not have any free showers or direct showers at the venue. What I usually recommend for those kinds of events is look for any gyms that are close in the area that have like a day pass offer and just try to get it there. Sign up maybe for like a 1 month free trial for like ClassPass, something like that. If you have not done this, and just go to like a random class, use the credits there for free, and just take a shower. If you do not have a like a hotel room or some sort of accommodation. Yeah. Speaking of that, we also have one that I forgot to mention. We do have a city guide that is sorry, that was stupid of me. We have a city guide that is linked directly at the main page of the event. You can click it there. You're going to be redirected to our Notion page, and that Notion page has a bunch of information about Bangkok in general, the time zone, the location of the actual venue, whether or not the drinking water is safe, the average temperature, that kind of stuff. A bunch of nice pictures, and yeah, information generally about the event before, after. It's like the opening ceremony, the project submission, and the closing ceremony, and a bunch of information about the city. So if you're new to the city, just like I am, I'm definitely going to checking out this guide because I have no idea about Bangkok whatsoever. Question. Cool, but I already paid for a hotel. I should sleep there. Well, you can sleep at the hotel. Like nobody's forcing you to be at the venue at all times. The thing is, once you checked in with us, once you get your wristband and your badge, you can technically just leave, hack the entire time at your hotel, and then come back before the closing. That's completely fine. That kind of like defeats the purpose of the hackathon, but that would be possible. So you're more than welcome to stay at the venue, but you're free to sleep at your own hotel that you paid for sure. Um, I will be in Bangkok. Would like to connect. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm gonna be in Bangkok. I'm gonna fly out tomorrow, so I'm gonna be in Bangkok on Sunday. Gonna be at Pragma. Gonna be at a bunch of side events, probably at DEF CON, and I'm definitely gonna be at the hackathon. So if you happen to see me, happen to catch me, I'm usually fairly difficult to spot with like the big ears. Just reach out. I'd love to connect to every single hacker. I'll try to talk to as many people as possible anyways to get feedback. So that's another thing. If you have any feedback about how we could make the events better, like if this is your first time, if this is your 15th time, it doesn't really matter. I'm always open to listen, always open to have conversations, because we want to make sure that everybody coming into the space is as welcome as possible and has the best experience. So yeah, just long story short, Teddy, I would love to have a conversation with you. So just hit me up when you're there. Okay, cool. Uh, okay, one more question. I applied to volunteer but didn't hear back yet. I was told my application is under review. Yeah, so the thing about the volunteer applications is we are completely swamped with the volunteer applications because a lot of the people that didn't get accepted as hackers now try to opt in as mentors or volunteers. So the team is working effortlessly to get through all of them. If you have not heard from us at this point, it's really, really unlikely that the volunteer application would go through. I would wait for it until the end of like today or tomorrow Eastern time for a response, but then I would pretty much say like, yeah, you're probably not going to get in as a volunteer. And can you be a hacker and still volunteer? No, that would not be possible. So it's either or. So if you're already signed up as a hacker, that's great, but we don't allow hackers to be volunteers, or we don't allow mentors or judges to be hackers too. It should all be split and different. So we're always happy to have a bunch of volunteers and hackers, obviously, but it should be like either one and not multiple ones. And if you haven't got accepted as a hacker or as a volunteer this time, again, this event is just massive. We are at absolute max capacity with a huge waiting list. But we're going to be running a bunch more events in 2025, both online as well as on site. There's going to be a bunch of cool cities for sure. We're going to be announcing that before the end of the year. So if you want to attend one of those events or help out, make sure to apply early because that usually helps. What we've seen this time was a lot of people applied like last minute when the waitlist was already super, super long. So we had to reject a lot of people, which we don't usually like to do, but we're just way over capacity. Okay, speaking of way over capacity, we would be over time. If anybody still has any question, feel free to just hit me up directly on Discord. You can open up a support ticket. You can just chat in there directly in the channels. DMs usually take a while for me to respond because I kind of get a lot of those. And you can also send an email with any questions or issues you have at hello@ethglobal.com. I'm going to respond to every single email directly. It might take a bit for me to respond to, but I try to clear it out like once or twice a day. That applies to if you have any issues like now with getting into the country. If you need a visa invitation letter, just send me a message with the information. I'm happy to send this one out. If you cannot attend the event because something happens, this can always happen. So let me know. I can revert your stake and all of that. So generally, if you have any questions, any suggestions, or anything between now and the hackathon, just talk to me, talk to anybody on the team. I would say preferably me because I'm the person responsible for all you hackers. But we're all more than happy to help. And we're all looking forward to meeting each and every single one of you in Bangkok. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to hit me up. Um, yeah, you can hit me up on Discord directly, Pascal/ETHGlobal, hello@ethglobal.com, or I think my Telegram handle should also be in there somewhere. So there's a lot of ways to connect me for sure. So just send a message on Discord, email should be fine. Yeah, gonna be super excited to meet each and every single one of you. If it's your first time, your 15th time, doesn't matter. Always super, super stoked. I wish you all a fantastic day and see you on maybe Thursday for Pragma, Wednesday for the happy hour, or latest on Friday for the